Hey, what is up guys? My name is True Underdog, and once again we are doing another how to play guide. This time we are featuring VORAH, mainly because I already have a combo guide up for her, and a couple other videos as well. I know a lot of you dogs want Quan Chi, and you want Cassie Cage, and you want Jacqueline, and you also want other characters too, but right now I'm doing VORAH because I already have a lot of combo footage for her. So without further ado, let's break her down step by step. I already have her universal special moves on screen, and this is basic VORAH, so no variation, just basic dull as dishwater VORAH. So the first move we have is Spawning Puddle. This move hits low and tracks the opponent's location, so no matter where I am on screen, it's going to find her and hit her. Despite what you might think, it is actually plus on block by a lot. However, while it is plus on block, it's very easy to interrupt, so if I was to do something like this, she could actually hit me out of it. If she's a very aggressive player, she'll just ball roll right under me and get a full combo for me trying to do this, right? It does not combo unless you launch the opponent with certain strings like this. Keep your eye on the bottom left of the screen whenever I do certain combos, okay? That's your hint of what attack strings I'm doing. We'll cover attack strings towards the end of the video. For now, it's just special moves. Now, the enhanced version does a bit more damage and it launches the opponent for a bit of a longer combo, but it's still hard to combo into. You see, that doesn't even combo, so you gotta launch the opponent like before. And even then, you get a very limited combo, right? I could have air thrown her there. Which brings me to the next part. VORAH actually has an air throw, which you can do after a jumping kick or to end certain combos, and even interrupt certain attack strings, so like this. I added it right there at the end of the attack string. Normally it's just this, but I can air throw in the middle of it, and even attack strings like this, I can actually interrupt with the air throw. And keep in mind, you can also control which direction the opponent goes by holding that direction. Problem is it confuses the game, because the game doesn't know what you want to do if you do that. Okay, let me go ahead and make it simpler for it. There we go. See, that time she went left instead of right because I held the left direction, and it sent her that way. So it's a great way to put the opponent in the corner if you're in the corner. Last but not least, we have Ovipositor Charge. This attack is not safe on block, so make sure to use it only when ending combos. Otherwise, it is a huge risk. In some variations, it does poison damage, but not in the default variation, only in her Venomous variation. The enhanced version does more damage, but I still don't recommend using it to end combos. However, where it does become useful is as a wake-up attack, or a reversal. So let me go ahead and show that real quick. I'm going to make the AI do a certain attack. So it has armor, which means I can actually interrupt her attack. So see right there, because the move had armor, I could actually absorb one of her hits, and I still took damage, but I wasn't comboed, right? No full combo, because I interrupted her attack string. And that's the whole point of a wake-up attack. And that's really her only way of getting out of pressure. So if the opponent knocks you down and they just won't let up and you're not quite sure how to block, just go ahead and do this. It's also a good way to interrupt certain attack strings. Let me go ahead and try to think of what attack string is avoidable with Melina. Okay, I found an attack string, guys. Check this out. So right there, I found a gap in her combo and I was able to use the armor to escape it. So that's the only real reason I recommend using the enhanced Ovipositor Charge. No real use outside of that. Alrighty guys, that about covers basic VORAH, so let's go ahead and go into the next variation, which is Broodmother. This variation is a bit tricky, because it only gives her a couple new moves, but they're really good for setups. So let's go ahead and put those moves on screen. Oh god, I'm sorry guys, I had to burp. I apologize, it's all live though. That's why I had to do it. Alrighty. So as you can see, Bug Blast is not safe on block, but only by a little bit. So that means if the opponent blocks the attack, they can hit me before I'm able to block, but only if their timing is perfect. They have to have very perfect timing. However, just like before, they can interrupt it, because it is really slow. Right? Not if I combo into it, but if they were to block it and I was to do this, they could just hit me. Now the advantage of that is I can actually cancel out of it. Right? I can backdash. I can even run cancel out of it like this. Right? Which means I can go for a throw or a mix-up. Like an overhead, like these two, or a low, stuff like that, right? It can be canceled. Next we have the Crawler, which is a low-hitting projectile style attack, but he also has a delay to him, which means when combined with an overhead, he creates a very hard to block setup. Now it's not unblockable, because there are no true unblockables in this game. But see how I went overhead into low? Now I can do low into overhead. So it's tricky because the opponent has to decide which one's going to come first and which one to block. Because if I do it right away, they can just block high and then low. But if I delay it, suddenly they've blocked wrong, and I get my combo. And that's the deadliness about this attack. It can also be used to combo for very short amounts of damage, right? Like this. Look at that, 28%, almost 30 for no meter whatsoever. So it is useful for extending combos. I do like this variation a lot. You don't see it as much though because the next variation is godlike, and it's called Swarm Queen. Let's go ahead and check it out. This is by far my favorite variation, and you'll see it the most in tournaments because it has such good combo potential. And you're about to see why. So let's go into the special moves and go ahead and put them on screen. Alrighty, so first off we have Wasp Grenade. Now like before, it's very easy to interrupt, but it has tons of frame advantage on hit and block. And more importantly, you can actually run cancel it to extend combos, which is not easy online, but offline, I only practiced for about 2 minutes and I was already able to do it. So with enough practice, it becomes a very, very deadly attack. Here are some combos on screen to show you guys what that looks like. Look at that damage, right? Pretty damaging stuff for no meter whatsoever, right? And with meter, even more damage, because the enhanced version actually extends combos by a lot, because it holds the opponent in place for a long time. Check this out. Look at all that damage, you guys. All that damage for 1 bar of meter. That ain't half bad. Now next we have the Vortex Swarm. This has the same properties as before, only it juggles the opponent for no meter at all. So I can just combo straight into it. You guys already saw a sneak preview of that earlier actually, because I did it for the Wasp Grenade combos. But it allows you to do so much damage for not much effort. And you can actually run in and continue a combo if the opponent's far away. And that's the real power of it. I can be at full screen and hit the opponent, and then still get a short combo off. Which is scary, most characters can't do that. It's a very dangerous weapon. So this class overall I think is the most damaging variation, but let's go ahead and do the next one because it's also pretty good. And it is called Venomous. This one is better because it has what's called poison damage. Basically any attacks that involve my spider legs or the arachnid legs, they're called ovipositor limbs in the game, but I just call them spider legs. Notice how Melina is taking extended damage over time? You see that? That's how it works, that tiny little percentage on her body. She takes damage whenever I do these attacks. It doesn't matter which one it is, any attack involving these legs will cause damage to her. So that's what makes this variation very unique. She also has a few unique special moves too though, so let's go ahead and put those on screen. Alright, so you have Bug Burst. This attack is very interesting because if you hold it down, it becomes neutral on block, and more importantly, it does a ton of chip damage. So that does damage when they get hit, right? You can see that, and the enhanced version does more damage. But on block, you guys, it's a very scary weapon. Check this shit out. It's terrifying. I'm gonna force her to block, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about. So she's blocking, right? Here's the regular version. About 5%, or at least 3%, right? Which isn't too terrifying, but when combined with an attack string, it's actually a decent amount of health for blocking, and it's safe. Now, what if I do the enhanced version, though? Look at that health just melt, you guys. That was easily 10% for blocking. And if I put attack strings in front of it, it becomes a very terrifying move. Oh my gosh, there's so much damage for blocking. And the reason I put ovipositor charge on screen is because it actually does damage over time as well. So let me go ahead and just put it back to default. And she's still taking damage over time. You can see on the health bar, and you can see on her body the percentage counter. Same with the enhanced version. She still takes damage over time, which I personally love. That's a lot of damage. Alrighty guys, so next we're going to discuss her X-Ray. Her X-Ray is quite unique because it can actually be done in the air. It also has armor, just like a lot of X-Ray attacks typically do, but the fact that it can be done in the air makes it extremely versatile because you can actually cancel into it after certain attack strings, just like her throw. So stuff like this. Boom. Just go straight into it. I mean, that's a lot of free damage for a low, don't you think? Oh, because that was a low, right? 40%. Here's an overhead. So the overhead also will do a lot of damage. So the low did about 40%, and the overhead's also going to do about 40%. And that's for a simple mix-up. When actually comboed into properly, it can do almost 50% in the corner. So it's no joke, this X-ray is actually quite deadly. Can also be done after a neutral jump punch. Very scary stuff, you guys. Her X-ray is probably one of the most useful in the game, but keep in mind she does need meter for all of her combos and some variations. So you don't always want to do an X-ray attack unless it wins the match. Last but not least, guys, we're going to go ahead and discuss her attack strings. And voila, look at that, it's magic. They appeared on screen by some supernatural power. Alrighty guys, so the first attack string is Piercing Lift. This is not safe on block, but it's a good way to get a short combo without any meter. So that's the trade-off. It's pretty risky, but it's also free damage without any meter. The next is Dragonfly. This is a great low hitting attack, and by default it hits the opponent towards the corner and does decent damage, but you can cancel it into the air throw for even more damage. So I always recommend doing that. It's also a great way to end certain combos, so like this. I recommend pretty much ending every combo with Dragonfly if you can. Except for the corner. Next we have Bad Tempered. This is actually safe on block and the best way to extend combos in certain variations. It's the only attack string that combos into the Wasp Grenade, as well as certain other attacks as well. It's got a lot of hit stun. Next we have Final Blight. Final Blight is great for comboing into her Swarm. Only in certain variations does it actually combo though. It's also a great way to combo into other attacks as well. Attacks with a lot of startup that also juggle the opponent, like the Crawler in her Broodmother class as well. Next we have Firebug, which is great for ending combos in the corner because it leads into her air throw. It's also an okay way to end other combos as well, like possibly Piercing Lift, but I don't think it reaches. Nope, doesn't quite reach. So yeah, mainly in the corner is the best place to use it. Whoops, the game didn't read it. 1 second. Sorry guys, the game doesn't want to read it. Whoop, there we go. A great way to end combos in the corner. And next we have the Scourge. The Scourge hits overhead and is barely punishable, because your opponent would have to have really good timing to actually punish you for it, especially since it knocks them back, even on block. Now on hit it's an overhead, just like this one. So it's a great way to get your opponent to start blocking high, so you can hit them with lows later on, right? Condition your opponent to block high and hit them low. Condition them low and then hit them with overheads, you know, one of the two. Let's go ahead and put the next set of attack strings on screen real quick. And voila, once again they appeared like magic. Next we have Fatal Attraction. Fatal Attraction is great for her Venomous variation because it causes damage over time, but otherwise you only want to do the first part. So just that. And it's because it leads into a more damaging ender. Look at that damage. That's a lot more than this. Next we have Contamination. Contamination is not safe on block, but it's great for corner combos and ending certain short combos mid-screen as well. But in the corner, it becomes very deadly. You can do it 3 times into X-ray for a pretty damn meaty amount of damage. Unless they nerfed it, but I don't think they did. I think it's still a good solid 45%. Actually almost 50, look at that. And that was without a jump in, so add the jump in, it's probably 50. That's a lot of damage for just one attack string, right? So it's best in the corner. You can do it 2 times from mid-screen too, but I don't think you get the combo. Yeah, not really. You could run in and do it. Yeah, with the run cancel, it becomes pretty good mid-screen. And also keep in mind that Devora's uppercut is known by many to be the best uppercut in the game. It's got a huge vertical hitbox, not a very good horizontal hitbox though. I can get pretty close to Melina and not hit her. So, see that? Not very good horizontally, but very good vertically. It hits pretty much straight above her. So it's very good for anti-airs. Next we have Ladybug. Ladybug is really cool because it hits low, and it also avoids low attacks. And you can hold it, and then cancel it by pushing down. Honestly, a really cool attack overall. I love this move because it's very stylish. It's also a very sneaky move. You don't have very many moves in this game that avoid low attacks like hers does. And that includes projectiles and Sub-Zero's Ice Slide. So any low attack will just go underneath this. Pretty cool stuff. Next we have Low Overpuss Swipe. This is a very long-reaching low attack, which is why I included it. It's very good for just hitting your opponent in the ankles from far away, right? You have this, and then you also have this. So these 2 things will force them to think about where they're gonna block. You hit them with that, hit them with this, hit them with that again. Very sneaky stuff. I just love this move. It's one of the best low pokes in the game. Very good range. Alrighty guys, that about wraps things up. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like below. And while you're down there, make sure to leave a comment, especially if I missed anything or you have any questions. I'll be glad to clear the air down below. And while you're down there, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe for more videos because we have content every single week. It is never a dull moment on Underdog Gaming. Thank you so much for watching, guys, once again. And make sure to always come back next time and stay underdogs.